Projectile motion. Before we start, we must first know what projectile motion is. Projectile motion is a form of motion experienced by an object, or more commonly called a projectile, that is thrown near the Earth's surface and moves along a curved path under the action of gravity only. In particular, the effects of air resistance are assumed to be negligible. This means that when solving a problem involving projectile motion, air resistance is not acknowledged in the solution. Now that we've learned what it means, it's time to tackle a problem involving projectile motion. For this example, we're going to use this video as a basis. Now, let's rewind that. Now, in this frame, the basketball player shoots the ball at the ring. Let's assume that the initial velocity of the ball is 10 meters per second and the angle that it was shot is 20 degrees. We must find out the time of flight of the ball, the distance of the shot, and the height of the ball from the ground. With the given information, we can now start solving the problem. First, we must find out the initial vertical velocity. To do this, we must use the formula initial vertical velocity is equal to initial velocity multiplied by sine of angle theta. Inserting our given, that's initial vertical velocity equals 10 meters per second multiplied by sine of 20 degrees. Solving this gives our initial vertical velocity 3.42 meters per second. Now that we have our initial vertical velocity, we can use it to get our time using the formula initial vertical velocity divided by gravity. Inserting our given, we have 3.42 meters per second divided by 9.8 meters per second squared, which gives us our time 0.35 seconds. Next, we must get the horizontal distance. To get the horizontal distance, we use the formula horizontal distance is equal to initial velocity multiplied by time. We place our given, giving us horizontal distance equals 10 meters per second multiplied by 0.35 seconds, which finally gets us our horizontal distance, 3.5 meters. Lastly is our height. To get the height, we use the formula height is equal to negative 1/2 times gravity multiplied by time squared. We place our given, which translates to negative 1/2 times negative 9.8 meters per second squared multiplied by 0.35 seconds squared. Simplifying the equation, we get negative 1/2 times negative 1.2005 meters, and when solved, gives us our height 0.6 meters. And there we go. We have solved all the missing variables necessary. Our time is 0.35 seconds, horizontal distance is 3.5 meters, and finally, our height is 0.6 meters. The end.